Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Mopo, where it's all matter of personal opinion.
It's all Mopo.
And today, we're going to do a reason why the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
The top 20 reasons why they're going to win. That's a lot of reasons.
Right? It's a lot of reasons why they're going to win, but I do want to say, I'm not guaranteeing they're going to win. These are just reasons why they're going to win.
Or why it should be put in their favor.
Right.
Like, why they deserve it.
Right, because, the Patriots are a good team. And they do have Tom Brady and they have Belichick. And they seem to win all the time. So, I mean, it wouldn't be out of the realm of the possibility for them to win again. But that being said...
Yeah, so, number one would be Eagles eat goats.
See, on the mountainsides, in the wild, the Eagles... They fly above the goats, and they swoop down, and they scoop them up, and they fly away with the goats. They call Tom Brady the GOAT. So that's what's going to happen to Tom Brady. He's going to get talons stuck in him, and he's going to get tossed off the mountainside.
And on top of that, Tom Brady's hurt.
Reason number two.
Reason number two. He's hurt.
Tom Brady is old, and his hand is hurt, and he's immobile. So he
already got tossed off the cliff.
Right. He's apt to get tossed off the cliff. Because he's going to get trounced by people like Vinnie Curry and Fletcher Cox and Michael Kendricks, and he's not going to be able to run away from these people. Brandon Graham, he's not going to be able to run away.
Yeah. And then, reason three, people are over the Patriots. Nobody really cares anymore. It's kind of like when the Mighty Ducks franchise, they had 3 movies, and at the end of every one, they would always win, and people were like, oh, that leaves nothing to the imagination. We see it coming. Same thing with the Patriots, except people like the Mighty Ducks.
And it's there's people who don't even care about sports who are like, oh, really, Patriots? Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4, Nick Foles is humble, and he gave it all the glory to God.
Nick Foles went out there and had one of the best games of any quarterback ever in an NFC Championship game, and the first thing out of his mouth is all the glories to God. And whether you believe in Jesus or Allah or whatever,
he blessed the team right there.
Right. He didn't try to take any of the credit for himself. He knows he's lucky, and he's just humble to be part of the team.
Yeah. Number 5, for once, people are rooting for the Eagles.
You're going to see, we're going to put it up, it's probably already up, that they did a area map of Twitter posts, and all around the country, they want the Eagles to win. Maybe a little bit in Dallas and a little bit up in New England area.
Well, you think that was real?
I mean, that's what they said. I mean, I'm not sitting there verifying it, but that's what they said. I'm going to take them on their word. But I also thought it's funny, you see the little top of North Dakota where Carson Wentz is from. There's this faction of people that are like, oh, Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl, then, it's going to take away from what Carson Wentz did. And I'll tell you right now, you can't take away from what Carson Wentz did. If Carson Wentz were the quarterback right now, we wouldn't even be talking about, oh, is there even a chance? We would trounce New England badly with Carson Wentz.
Oh, really?
And that's just plain fact of the matter. That's just how it is.
Well, besides all that, number 6, we're just the underdogs. We have to win.
You see them with the mask. They even at home, we were the number 1 seed going into the playoffs, and both games in our home stadium, we were not favored. That has not happened since they, back in the day, they just did it all by record. And they're like, oh, only the best records go in. Before they started being, okay, you're going to be the division champion, and you're going to be this division champion, or whatever. Since they started doing that, never once has a home team in the playoffs not been favored. So, yeah, keep disrespecting them because we blew out Minnesota 38-7. So,
All right. Well, number 7 is, we got LeGarrette Blount.
LeGarrette Blount runs people over. He was on their team last year, running people over, helping them win the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? He's on the Eagles now.
And he's just going to keep running people over.
And y'all going to get run over now.
Well, number 8, we got Chris Long.
Another key contributor from their Super Bowl winning team last year, making plays in the Super Bowl for them, could be making plays for the Super Bowl for us.
Fair. And with all this, number 9, we have a complete team.
We're not just dependent on Tom Brady, the GOAT, to pull out some miracle win in the last 2 minutes of the game. We are dependent on our entire squad. We got the defense, from the D-line to the defensive backs, the linebackers, our special teams, the offensive line. Our worst player is Nick Foles, and he threw for 358 yards last week, versus the number 1 defense in the NFL. So you're really going to have a problem defeating a complete team.
All right. And, with number 10, it's, all they seem to have, and you kind of touched on this already, against us would be Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady's all they got. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have good players. They have Brandon Cooks, who's a great wide receiver. They have more guys who are, hard working. They're not just, naturally talented. Chris Hogan, the wide receiver. He's not, he's not naturally gifted. He works hard, and that's why he's good. We got guys who work hard, but they're just naturally good.
Yeah. Well, number 11 is just the defense.
Oh, yeah, that defense. We hold offenses down. Atlanta, Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. Minnesota, Case Keenum had the third best QBR in the whole league. Case Keenum had a better QBR than any other quarterback who was in the championship games. And we held them down 7 points. 10 points to Atlanta.
So what's up? I mean, with number 12, it's forgot to mention we got Alshon Jeffrey.
Who on their team is going to stop Alshon Jeffrey? They do the 8-yard slant all day, and there's nothing they're going to be able to do to stop that.
Yo, I like how 13 is we got the run game.
Yeah, that run game. Chris Clement, Jay Ajayi, and LeGarrette Blount. Anytime that Chris Clement touched the ball, it's 11, 12 yards. Jay Ajayi just keeps moving. He's not going to run people over, but he's finally that running back that will be able to run east to west or north to south. And like you already said about LeGarrette Blount, he just runs people over. That's all he does.
Yeah. I mean, for number 14, it's have the Patriots been caught cheating?
Oh, my God. How many times? And like I said, this is even stuff that people, you don't even follow sports, but you probably heard of Deflategate. You probably heard about the Patriots, winning games under, nefarious or, suspicious circumstances. So it goes without saying, they've been caught cheating before. How, maybe it might stop them from cheating again. Who knows? They probably will again, though. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I mean,
it's not Bob Belichick.
Number 15, it's Deion Lewis got slippery hands.
They call him fumbleitis or whatever. My man fumbled in the AFC Championship game, almost cost them that game.
You think it's going to happen again, though?
Hey, let's hope so. My man fumbled 5 times last year too. He actually got benched last year for fumbling.
So it's kind of like he's kind of due for some fumbles this year.
Yeah, and also I will give him credit. This year he has been a lot better, but that pressure's on.
It just might come out again. Crazy. I mean, number 16, it's the Patriots defense isn't really that scary.
Minnesota had the number 1 defense in the NFL. Going into that game, we weren't even favored in our own stadium versus Minnesota because their defense is so historic. To find a defense that was so good, you'd have to go back to like 1975, which so happened to be another Minnesota Vikings team, and they stopped people all year, and you know what? They got trounced by the Eagles. So that would lead you to believe, and it might be false bravado, but if we can trounce the number one defense in the league, the Patriots don't got the number one defense in the league.
Unless they start, mimicking.
You can't just mimic.
No?
You can sit there and try, but if you don't have the personnel, you can't do the things, that they can do.
All right. Number 17, it's like the Patriots didn't seem to really play anybody coming up that would have been able to knock them down.
If you look at their schedule, they played maybe 3 important games all year. I'll tell you what, they had a couple losses too. They had more losses than the Eagles. And when you get to play teams like Miami and Buffalo and the New York Jets twice, and actually I'm pretty sure they lost to Miami one of those games too. You losing to Miami, come on, man. Next reason.
Number 18, Philly's lucky number seems to be 8.
Well,
or something with 8 has to do with Philly.
If you look at it, 1980, the Phillies won the World Series, and the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. In 88, the Eagles had a really great season, and they went back to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. 98, the Flyers went to the Stanley Cup Finals. 2008, the Phillies win the World Series. So why not 2018? The Eagles finally get a Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, they definitely have the Super Bowl, but I mean, we just need to win the Super Bowl.
They gotta win it. They didn't have it yet. They're there. And sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but that leads into the final reason, number 20. They're not just happy to be there. They have to know. Oh, I think I skipped the reason.
Offensive line, but I feel like you keep touching on a lot of this stuff. But.
Yeah, well, the offensive line is going to be able to protect Nick Foles and, enable us to run the ball. They don't have a good defensive line. They're not going to be able to get pressure on Nick Foles. They're not going to be able to stop us from running. But where I'm getting at is the Eagles aren't just happy to be there.
Which is number 20.
Which is the true number 20, the offensive line being the 19th reason.
It's all out of order and wackadoo, but
and I'm not saying the number one reason. And
these are just, no discernible order.
Yeah,
clearly.
These are just reasons that you can be confident as an Eagles fan, as why they can win this game. They very well could lose, but there's 20 pretty good reasons why we think they're going to win. Tell us what you think. Let us know what you think.
Are you as hardcore about sports as he is, brother?
It's all a matter of personal opinion.
It's all mopo.
Thanks for listening. Go Eagles.